Well, hello, hello, hello. I usually say hello a whole bunch of times because I don't know exactly when the live stream starts after I click go live. But hello, everyone. I hope you're having a very, very good day. Let me check to make sure everything is working. Sounds like it. We'll get started in 26 seconds, 25 seconds. Just having some fun chatting in the chat. Yes, I think we're good. I think we are all set to get started in about 10 seconds. Welcome to this English lesson about acronyms. Hopefully you are familiar with some of these. We'll see. 2, 1. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about acronyms. If you don't know what acronyms are, if you look on this person's jacket, it looks like this person is in the FBI, which in the United States is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. An acronym is when we take the first letters of 2 or 3 or 4 words for something, and we just use the letters to refer to that. In my research, I found over 30 acronyms that I could teach you today. So I'll tell you how we say the acronym. Like this one, we say FBI. We just say the letters. And most of them are like that. I think 1 or 2 are a little different, but I'll get to them. And they're almost always capital letters, by the way. So not small letters, but capital letters. So FBI is one. I think CIA is another one, although I don't have that one on the list. But you might hear these acronyms when you watch a TV show or a movie or when you read a book. So welcome once again to this English lesson about acronyms. Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for being here. Hi to Tessa and Wanda and Dimitri and Nelly and Key Park and Lolly Lolly, Redfish, Davi. Know that. I know Vitor was here earlier. I think he still is. Doris, Key Park, Kevin, Julie, Fanching, know that. Did I say know that twice now? Kaka Jen is here as well. I know Automation, Secure Home is here. Eugene from Etobicoke. So many. Freddie Wolf is here. So many familiar names. I think I'm saying people's names twice now, probably. But welcome. By the way, I am feeling 100% now. I think I have finally fully recovered. I'll stop talking about being sick now. I had a great night's sleep last night, although I had a strange dream that I worked at a different school. And at that school, the school was so big, I kept getting lost. Kind of a strange dream. Sorry, this has nothing to do with the lesson on acronyms, but I had a great sleep, but I did have a strange dream in the night. It was kind of disorienting. I don't know if you've ever had dreams where when you wake up, you can't remember where you are. Anyways, thanks for being here. Remember a few things before we start. Please have fun English conversations in the chat. And I want to say hi, say hi to Mode Eggs and David and Fadi. I see a few people jumping in. Julie as well. Good to see all of you. Use the chat for good, awesome English conversations. This can be more than a listening practice. This can be more than learning vocabulary. You can use this to practice your reading and writing skills as well. But all of you kind of need to work together to do that. If you have a question, there is a link in the description below. Please use that. I think there's probably 1 or 2 questions already coming in. I haven't seen any yet, but they will slowly flow in. And then we will stop from time to time during the lesson in order to answer those questions. Please ask questions about acronyms, though, and I will do my best to answer them. Key Park says Bob's channel's acronym is BTC, Bob the Canadian. That is correct. That is the acronym for my channel. I'm the yeah. I was gonna say something, but I think it might have been inappropriate. I'm BTC, Bob the Canadian. Okay, let me see here. Let me make sure that that is set up right. I think it is. I'm wondering if, do I have the right form linked? I think I do. I'll have a look here. So let me double check before we get started. Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I was just worried that I had the wrong form linked, but I don't think I do. Let's get started. Deal? Let's get this English lesson started. Ralph says Bob's voice and mood seems to be on speed again. Sound totally different. Yeah, I've been walking all week. I got a haircut. I feel way more energetic. And as I've told many of you before, when I sleep well, everything's just better. And I have definitely been sleeping a lot better. Here we go. ETA, estimated time of arrival. So when you are going somewhere, last week I actually went to pick my son up from university. And at one point he texted and said, "What's your ETA?" And what he's asking is, when do you think you will arrive? What is your estimated time of arrival? So if I was driving to school and my boss phoned me and said, "Hey, you're supposed to be here already. Why are you late? What's your ETA?" Basically, my boss is saying, when do you think you will be here? What time do you think you will be here? And I would say, oh, in about 10 minutes, or my ETA is 9:30 or something like that. So ETA, estimated time of arrival, is what that is. GPS. Now, this is a very familiar one to all of us. GPS stands for Global Positioning System. And there's actually two parts to GPS. One is there are a lot of satellites in orbit around the Earth, and you have a device such as your phone that can receive signals from those satellites. My watch also has GPS. So when I go for a walk, it can track my route. So GPS stands for Global Positioning System. It allows you to know exactly where you are on the planet. That's exactly what it does. Like, you look at your phone and within a couple centimeters, it knows exactly where you are. Okay, maybe not quite that accurate. Within a meter, it knows exactly where you are. Very handy when you're driving somewhere to use GPS in order to know where you are, and then it can tell you even how to get there. BBC. So if you've been around long enough, you know that I watch a lot of British television. I live in Canada. I live close to the United States, but I love British television. In particular, I like police shows on British television. In fact, I'm just watching one now called The Chelsea Detective, and I was watching another one as well. Anyways, the BBC is the British Broadcasting Corporation. By the way, we also have a CBC in Canada, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. But the BBC creates news. They create TV shows. I think there's even multiple channels. I think there's BBC One and BBC Two. But BBC stands for British Broadcasting Corporation. Basically, the company in Britain that creates a lot of TV shows. I don't know a lot more about it, but you say BBC, and it stands for British Broadcasting Corporation. PhD. So this one's kind of strange because the acronym itself, I think, comes from the Latin, but the English version is Doctor of Philosophy. But we hardly ever say Doctor of Philosophy. A PhD is a degree that you get from a university. So I went to university and I got a bachelor's degree. I did 4 years. You can do another year or two and get a master's degree. And then after that, you can do another 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure the exact time, and you'll get a PhD. In Canada and in most parts of the world, in order to be a teacher, you just need a bachelor's degree. I have a bachelor's of education. You might get your master's degree as well. In order to teach at a college or university, though, you usually need to get your master's, and you need to be working on your PhD or your Doctor of Philosophy. Again, we rarely say Doctor of Philosophy. In fact, no one does, but I can tell you this. I think 2 of my uncles have their PhD on my mom's side. So what I'm saying there is my mom's brother has a PhD, and my mom's brother-in-law has a PhD. So they were both university professors. They were both very, very smart. RSVP. So in English, we say RSVP. We rarely say répondez s'il vous plaît. And if we do say répondez s'il vous plaît, we don't say it with a French accent. We usually say répondez s'il vous plaît, which sounds very English. Sorry, French speakers. But when you invite people, sometimes you ask them to RSVP. So when Jen and I were getting married, we sent out invitations and we said, RSVP so we know if you're coming or not. When you're having a party of some kind or when you're planning a wedding, you often say, please RSVP so we know if you're coming or not. Because if you're buying food and having a big party, it's nice to know how many people are coming. And we just say RSVP, please RSVP before January 5th so we can plan the meal. Répondez, s'il vous plaît. Merci beaucoup. FYI. So you'll hear FYI every once in a while, and it means for your information. So someone at school could hand me some papers and say, oh, here's a report on this student, FYI. This is for your information. So a lot of times I see this written on a Post-it note. So someone will put papers on my desk with a yellow Post-it note, and it'll just say FYI. And basically they're saying, this is something important that you should know about. So I am putting it on your desk for your information, FYI. DIY, do it yourself. So there's two ways to build a shed. There's two ways to fix your sink in your house. You can either hire someone or you can DIY it. So when you DIY, it means you do it yourself. If you go on YouTube, there are a lot of DIY videos where they show you how to do different things. If I wanted to build something, let's say I wanted to build a doghouse, I wouldn't pay someone to build a doghouse. I would DIY it. Okay, so I would do it myself. I know I switched yourself to myself, but when you DIY something or when you do something yourself, we say it's do it yourself. IOU. So sometimes in the summer, when we're at market, I want to go buy a snack and we have money because we're selling flowers. But if I take money from the farm, I always put a little piece of paper saying I owe you $20 or I owe you $10. So this isn't exactly a perfect acronym. Have you noticed? Because we use the letter U to represent the word you because they sound exactly the same. But when you have an IOU, it means you owe somebody. So often if my kids borrow money from me, I'll just say, write me an IOU. And then on a piece of paper, they'll say, I owe you $50 and they'll leave it on my desk. And then I will remember that they borrowed some money from me. They always hope that I lose the IOU. But I don't usually. So anyways, for me, an IOU is a little piece of paper that actually says I owe you and then the amount of money and then usually the name of the person so you can remember. Let me see here. Let's stop and do some questions. Let's get that going. Let me have a sip of water here. By the way, the other reason I'm happy is it's my last day of work today. So I need to go to work, but I don't have a lot to do. Let's see here from Martin. Hi, dear Bob. Could you share with us other very useful words similar to, by the way, BTW that you frequently use? Thanks. So it's interesting. I've avoided the ones that we use when writing an email or sending a text message. And I promised long ago I would do a lesson on that, but we don't ever say BTW. So when I speak, I say, by the way, okay, by the way, you owe me $20. So it would be a way to remind somebody. When I send an email though, or send a text message, I will use that acronym. I will use BTW, but we wouldn't say it. So all of the acronyms I'm teaching today are ones you would say in spoken English. And I should do another lesson on common written acronyms. From Mode, hi, just checking if this is the right form. Haha, glad you're feeling 100%. Thanks for checking that out. Could you tell I was a little worried at the beginning because I had actually put the form link up way earlier than normal and there were no questions. And I thought, oh, did I post the right one? So thank you for testing that. You must have read my mind that I was worried. So thanks for testing that Mode. Let's see here. We use acronyms as ship prefixes. HMS stands for Her Majesty's Ship. Have you ever heard that? Yes. And an example, 2, FIFA is related to football. Do you know what FIFA stands for? Fédération Internationale Football Association. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm revealing my North Americanness. FIFA means what? Fédération Internationale de Football Association. Yeah, I was pretty close. I probably mispronounced a few things. But the International Federation Football Association of Football Associations. Very cool. And then HMS. I don't know any off the top of my head, but definitely familiar. If you ever watch documentaries about World War II or anything, you would hear about those. So Jason, what is the difference between acronyms and abbreviations? So acronyms take the first letter of every word and use it to make a new word. The National Hockey League, National Hockey League. We take NHL and then we just say NHL. An abbreviation is a shorter form of the word, or something like, we call a refrigerator a fridge. So we take part of the word and make a new smaller word out of it. I'm trying to think of another abbreviation. Maybe a few people can mention some in the chat. But acronyms, you take the first letter from each word and you pronounce that as kind of a new word. Henry from Taiwan. Hi, Teacher Bob. What's the subtle difference between FYI and FYR? Thank you. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. So I don't use FYR, acronym FYR. Maybe it's for your reference. Yeah, not common here. So I had to look that one up. So for me, it would almost always be FYI. But if you see FYR, apparently it means for your reference. They would mean the same thing to me. From Nastaran. Hello, Mr. Bob. I just want to thank you for your videos. Have a great day. You too, for sure. From Emmer. Love from Pakistan, sir. Need one word motivation for reading daily. I can't give you one word. I give you 2 words. Do it. Just read. Do it. When you wake up in the morning, do it right away. Read for 5 or 15 minutes. You can do it. I don't have one word to recommend to you. Let's see. From Tina, what's the difference between acronym and abbreviation? Just covered that. Thank you. Many building names in my campus are an abbreviation. Yes. Sometimes we shorten things in English and in other languages to make it a little simpler for everybody. Oh, Fatima, nice work. Hi, Bob. It's good to see you recovered. I have no question at the moment. Wanted to convey good wishes. Thank you for your lesson. So ATM is an interesting one because it's in writing, it means at the moment. So like right now, but if you say it, it means a bank machine. And I'll get to that in a little bit further in the lesson. And then is UK, USA can be considered as acronyms? Yes, country acronyms. United Kingdom, United States of America, definitely, for sure. Let's see here. Nathan, hello, Bob. What does VIP stand for? So a VIP is a very important person. So if you're a VIP, it means like if I had a party and Tom Cruise was coming, I would say there's a VIP coming. There's a very important person, a famous person coming. From Sam Wu, and then we'll get back to the lesson. Hi, Bob. It's a benefit for the learners like me to see your strengthened system topic. By the way, is there LOL other meetings? No, LOL means laughing out loud. And it again it's an interesting one because it used to only be used in writing, but I have heard people say it out loud before. They're like LOL, or they'll say lol. That's rare, but teenagers sometimes say it. So LOL is one of the ones where it started as something you would just type, but now we actually do say that one out loud. Interesting. Very cool. Okay, let me have a sip of water. Cedar says, Bob, thanks for your work. You made me love Canada. You're the best teacher on the internet. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for the compliment. Let me see if I can find my slides back here and we'll get back to it. Here we go. ATM. So we did just mention that ATM, when said, means an automated teller machine or automatic teller machine. It can mean both. I think automated is the more correct one. But if I was at a mall, a shopping mall, and I needed to get money from a machine, I might say to someone, is there an ATM in this mall? Or you might see a sign that says ATM with an arrow. And basically it means that there is an automated teller machine, a bank machine, a machine where you can put your bank card in and withdraw some money, ATM. But if I send you an email and I say, ATM, I'm eating breakfast, it means at the moment I'm eating breakfast. So like right now. TBA. Sometimes at work, we can't plan everything we're going to do in the future. So someone might say, Jim is retiring this year. We need to plan a retirement party. It will be sometime in June, the exact date, and they'll put TBA. Okay, so it means to be announced. It means we haven't decided yet. And it almost always happens with dates, okay? If, for instance, I said, Brent and I are going to do a live lesson during the Christmas break, the date, it's TBA. It's to be announced. So I don't know exactly when, but it will happen at some point. RIP, rest in peace. So after someone passes away, you will often hear people say rest in peace or IRP or RIP, excuse me, simply meaning that they hope the person, this is a tough one to describe, right? So they hope the person has lived a good life and now they are resting from the trials and tribulations of life. So rest in peace. Kind of a tricky one to describe, but you will see this when a celebrity passes away. Sometimes on Twitter or X, people will do, RIP and then the name just to show their condolences for that person passing away. FOMO. So this is a relatively new one, probably in the last 10 years. I think it started with when people want something, but then other people are getting it and they don't get it. I don't know if I explained that well enough, but FOMO would be fear of missing out. Currently in Canada, Taylor Swift is coming, I think, next November 2024. And so when tickets went on sale, people had a lot of FOMO. They had a lot of fear of missing out. They were afraid they weren't going to get tickets. Their fear was that other people would get tickets and they wouldn't. Sometimes when the stock market is going up quickly, people have a fear of missing out. They have FOMO that they didn't invest their money when they should have. You might be familiar with these next two. Let me have a sip of water here for a sec. ESL stands for English as a Second Language. We have an ESL teacher at our school. That person teaches students how to speak English. They already speak German or French or Spanish or Chinese, but they come to our school to take ESL classes so they can learn English as a second language. Now, lately, we haven't been using this term as much because it kind of means the person only speaks one language and they're learning English as their second. But some of our students already speak 2 or 3 languages. So we've started using the term ELL, which is an English language learner. This is probably more accurate. If you come to our school from, let's say, a place like Germany, you might already speak German and Dutch because you live close to the border. So you wouldn't be learning English as a second language. You would be learning it as a third language. So now we try to use the term ELL as much as possible, which means English language learner, which is what all of you are. You're all ELL students, which is kind of funny because that actually means English language learner student. So I'm kind of saying learner and student at the end. But we do say things like that in English. Like Brent is an ELL teacher. In fact, his last little video, The Power's Out at his school, the title says ELL teacher, which would mean English language learner teacher, which starts to sound a little wordy. Anyways, CEO, Chief Executive Officer. I seem to have forgotten to put the actual definition there. So that is Chief Executive Officer. Elon Musk is the CEO of Tesla. I don't think he's the CEO of X anymore, but he's the CEO of Tesla. He is the Chief Executive Officer. That means he's the boss. There's no one else above. I'm going as high as I can on the screen. He is the boss. He is the owner and boss of the company. Although a CEO doesn't have to own the company, just so you know. But a CEO is the top leader at a company. ID stands for identification. So this is one where we don't actually take the first letter of each word. We take the first two letters of the word. So technically, this is an abbreviation, I think. Remember the difference between the two? Although we do say both letters. So can I see some ID? In order to get into the bar or club, you need to show ID so they know you're old enough. In Canada, if you want to buy beer or wine or alcohol, they will ask to see your ID to make sure that you are 19 years old and that it's legal for you to buy it. So ID stands for identification. IQ, intelligence quotient. This is a measure of how smart you are. So you can take an IQ test, an intelligence quotient test. You can take an IQ test, and then you will then know your IQ, which is a number. It's probably somewhere around 120, 130, 140 if you're really smart. I don't think it's used as much anymore for testing people's intelligence, but if you take an IQ test, it will give you a number and it will let you know how smart you are. Maybe your IQ is 180. I think then you're definitely a genius. A genius is a very, very smart person. I think if you're 135 or 145 and above, I think you're in genius territory. PC, personal computer. We still use this term, although most people now just say laptop or MacBook if it's from Apple, because we've moved away from personal computers. But PC is still used quite a bit. Yeah, I need to buy a new PC. My PC is not working. Basically, you're talking about your computer. I might buy a new PC this summer because the computer I use for editing is 6 years old. I might upgrade my PC or I might buy a new PC. We'll see. I'll decide in the summer. I'll see what prices are like. GMO, a genetically modified organism. So scientists have changed some things to either yield better or grow faster or be more resistant to disease. And we call those genetically modified organisms. Soybeans are one of the ones that I think of right away. Genetically modified soybeans are resistant to certain herbicides. They grow faster and they yield better. There's also genetically modified corn. There's genetically modified, I think, sugar beets, I think, are genetically modified. Maybe cotton. You can grow genetically modified cotton as well. ASAP, as soon as possible. So this one's interesting. If someone says to me, I need this back ASAP, I usually feel a bit rushed, even though it means as soon as possible. And maybe it's not possible for me to do that until, next week, Wednesday. I still feel like if someone says, I need this back ASAP, it makes me feel like they need it right away. So it has a little bit of, it implies that the person needs it back quickly. So ASAP, and that's how you say it. Date of birth, DOB. So when you look at an ID card, like if I look at my license in my wallet, I'm not going to show you guys, but it has actually a line on it that says DOB, and then it shows my birthday, which we all know is sometime in July or August. We don't know the exact date. Unfortunately, I don't know when my birthday is. That's a lie. But anyways, if you look on someone's ID card and you see a line that says DOB, it means date of birth. Okay, so, and I guess mine probably has French on it too, doesn't it? Let me have a look here for a sec. Date de naissance. Oh yeah, that's both on there. Okay. Just make sure I'm not showing any of my cards here to you. Date of birth, DOB. So this is an interesting one. I'm not sure if you are someone who drinks alcohol. I know some of you do, some of you don't. But in Canada, if someone has a party, sometimes they'll say you don't need to bring anything. Sometimes they will provide all the food, but it will be BYOB, which means bring your own beer or other beverages. So if I have a party for my brothers and sisters here, I usually say, we're having a party at the farm. Maybe it's my mom's birthday party. And I'll say, don't bring any food. Jen and I will provide all the food. We'll barbecue hamburgers, everything, but BYOB, it's going to be BYOB, which means I'm not buying beer or other alcoholic beverages because that can be kind of expensive. So quite often, if you go to a party, if you see, hey, we're having a Christmas party next week, we'll have lots of food, but it's BYOB, it means that you should bring your own beverage of choice, be that beer or something else. RAM. Your computer has RAM in it. It has a hard drive. It has RAM. It has a video card. It has a lot of different components. The RAM is where everything is stored while your computer is on. It's not a great explanation, but it's also something where the more you have, the better your computer runs. This computer only has 16 gigabytes of RAM. That one has 32 gigabytes. I use my desktop. I don't know if you can see my desktop. It's just this dark blob over here. I use my desktop to edit videos. It has more RAM in it. So RAM stands for Random Access Memory. Hey, let's do some questions and let's go to members only chat mode as well. Let me get that set up. You're wondering what members only chat mode is. It's for members only. Members can ask questions directly in the chat. I will keep answering questions from here as well. And by the way, if you're one of the 382 people watching, hi, don't forget to click the subscribe button and don't leave. The lesson isn't over. In about 10 minutes, we'll get back to the last slides and we'll finish this lesson off. Let's see here. This is from Alyssa. It's a little off topic, but hi from Ontario. May I know what the meaning of, and by the way, be sometimes spoke is? I read it in a book. Thank you. I don't know, but we do have the word bespoke, and maybe that's what you're looking for. Because that makes no sense to me, that line. But when something's bespoke, it means it's kind of custom made, just for you. Little off topic here, but Rain says, hello, Professor Bob. My question is why we use the word how in how do you like it? If it does not have any benefit. I mean, why not simply say, do you like it? Because English is weird. You could also say, how do you do? No, that's a little bit different, but how do you like it? Do you like it? How do you like it? Yeah, it means the same thing. I think it just makes the language a little more interesting when we add words like that. Let me get a sip of water here and I'll wait for some questions from members. Let's see here. Need my glasses. Going back, Rasal says, wait, Bob, no Canadian whiskey in the house. We do not have a lot of alcohol in our house. Usually I have some beer in the summer, but I am not someone who drinks a lot of alcoholic beverages. I enjoy having a beer once in a while, but Mode says, all I saw was that your wallet has seen better days. Yeah, this is my wallet. It has the John Deere logo on it. It's, the way things go, I mean, it still works, right? This wallet here, it still works, but yeah, we'll see. I think I want one of those small wallets at some point in time, but we'll see. BYOB in my city means bring your own bag. Ah, very interesting. Very cool. Okay, let's see here. Key Park says, do you know ICQ? That's an old acronym. I don't know what it means, but I do remember using ICQ, which was an internet chat program. Similar to MSN Messenger, ICQ. There were a few different ones back then. I think that's what you're referring to. But yes, I am somewhat familiar with it. No, that says, hey, Bob, what is the acronym you use most often? Thanks in advance. Merry Christmas and thanks for everything. I'm trying to think which one I would use the most often. Like we use the word GPS when we're talking about that all the time. ID is quite common. Let's see. I'm looking through the list. IOU. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure which one. All I know is they are all very common. They are definitely used quite a bit. Know that for sure. Mode says, wow, 32 gigs and you're thinking about replacing it. What exactly are you looking for? A supercomputer? No, what I'm looking for is, if you want the honest answer, I've been editing mostly in 1080p and then I export at 4K. But I would like to, my new camera shoots at 4K and I would like to edit in 4K and export in 4K in a reasonable amount of time. And I know a faster computer with some more RAM would help that. So I have quite a bit of RAM mode, but the computer is starting to feel a bit slow. So anyways, like when it takes, like when I edit this down and export it, it takes like 45 minutes to export. Sometimes I just like to get it done quicker. Let's see here. From Lolly, by the way, you see BBC or NBC TV at the moment? RSVP ASAP. That's a lot of acronyms. So let me read Lolly Lollies again. BTW means by the way. UC is the same as like YOUSEE, like UC. BBC or NBC. So NBC is the National Broadcasting Corporation in the US. TV is a abbreviation for television. Not really an acronym, is it? ATM would be at the moment in this situation. RSVP ASAP. So send a response right away. Very good. Ralph says, ICQ, ICQ. Ah, I see. I got it. Freddie Wolf, some brands are made from acronyms. I think one of the weirdest ones is ASICS, though I don't remember the detail, which comes from Latin. And Adidas or Adidas stand for Adolf Dassler. Schuhfabrik. I see, the shoe. Yeah, I read a little bit about Adidas or Adidas. We say Adidas in North America. Sorry if you're from Europe. But ASICS, I don't know. I have ASICS shoes though. I have 2 pairs. They're really nice. Key Park, ICQ, because ICQ, got it. Know that. For me, it is ASAP and FYI, job related. Yes, definitely. I would say ASAP is pretty common. Like, I need this ASAP. Can you do this ASAP? You need to go to class ASAP. I'll say that to a student. Lolly says, thanks, Bob. Ralph says, 4K video export depends mostly on CPU power or GPU graphics card if the software supports it. 32 gig is enough. Well, thanks, Ralph. So you're saying I need a better video card. Maybe I should just get a 4060 instead of the 2060 that I'm running. One of the two. Brent says, hello, hello. Brent, I wasn't sure if your video this morning was from today, but the one where you said you didn't have power at school, did the power come back on today or that day? Be curious to know. By the way, if you go, Brent made a short, I don't think it was members only, where he's at school and the power's off. They're having bad weather there. Good to see you though, Brent. Let's see here. From Pedro. Hi, sir. I just want to thank you for the lesson and wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks, Pedro. And same to you. Let's see here. Nastran says, what is ICE? So I don't know. It's Brent will probably get it quicker than me. ICE is the it's an American law enforcement. Short for, oh, maybe I don't know what it is. Someone says on the internet, it says it's in case of emergency, but I thought there was a law enforcement division called ICE, but maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. Brent says no school today. Sorry, Bob. Maybe I was just seeing an old video. Anyways, Mode says, hey, Mr. Bob, can we still get a video message from you? I have a cool idea. Also, do you watch NFL or NHL more often? I watch MLB and NBA the most often. So Major League Baseball and the National Basketball Association. Those would be the two. Brent says, we didn't have school Tuesday and Wednesday because of all the flooding. I was spared, thankfully. Oh, I'm glad. Your house is flooded enough, Brent. I'm glad your house has not flooded, for sure. Ralph says, we have ICE, Intercity Express, but for sure now, well, not what was searched for. Okay. Yeah, not a common one. Not one that I have heard. Let's see. I don't know what this is, Abdi. Hey, Bob. Hope you're doing well. I have a bit of a question. I rarely hear this acronym SHTF in native speakers. Have you ever heard it before? I have not. I am not familiar with it. Sabir says, we have random topics tomorrow. I will share some of these acronyms. Thanks a lot. I'm imagining that's for a class or something else. Very, very cool. Let's see here. Just going to look something up. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE, was created in 2003. So it's something to do with immigration and customs in the US. That's where I've seen it before. On TV shows, I've seen it on the back of law enforcement jackets or something like that. Can you still get a video message from me? Yes, I have. Actually, I have to make one that I forgot to make a week ago. I better do that soon. Let's see. Know that regarding CEO, there's also CPO and CFO, and I guess a few more, Bob. Yes, CFO is Chief Financial Officer. We have COO, Chief Operating Officer. There's a few different ones for sure. Eugene, Automation CQ Home says, I have a long holiday until New Year's. Well, that's handy. I'm off till the 8th or something. I have a really long break. I'm very happy. Brett says STFU is a funny acronym, but it does have one swear word in it, just so you know. I say this to my students all the time, kidding. Yeah, STFU, if you don't know, it means shut the, and then the F word, I'm not going to say it, and then up. So shut the blank up, basically. Definitely not something Brett uses at school. In French, we have the acronym Avion Appareil Volant. Oh yeah, I'm going to go over that one in a bit. No. Oiseau natural. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'm going to talk about UFO, but you're talking about OVN. You're not talking about OVNE. You're talking about something slightly different. Okay, let's get back to the lesson. I'm rambling on a little bit here, which is fine. I have lots of time, but I like to stay on track. Let me get to subscriber only mode again. Let's see here. Yeah, we're good to go. Let's get back to the slides. NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, is the division of the US government that sends things into space. Although now I think they have subcontracted a lot of work to SpaceX and other places. But if you were familiar with the space shuttle, when I was a kid, it was fun to watch space shuttle launches on TV. That was from NASA. Again, most people don't actually know what NASA stands for. I had to look it up. But maybe you'll watch a movie and you'll hear about NASA if it's about space. But definitely, that was cool as a kid. I liked watching the shuttle get launched. K9. So this is not technically an acronym, and it's not really a short form. It's just using letters and a number, a letter and a number to represent a word. In English, the word canine is another way to say dogs, okay? It's not a common way, but our dogs are canines. I don't know what cats are. Maybe one of you knows, but dogs are canines, C-A-N-I-N-E-S. But if the police use dogs, it's called a canine unit, and they'll use the letter K and the number 9. So when they are trying to find someone who is lost, they might bring in the dogs. They might bring in a canine unit to help find the person who is lost. Or if they're arresting someone, they might bring in the canine unit in order to make the person stop running away. Dogs are good at that. PIN, personal identification number. When I go to the bank, I put my bank card in the ATM, and then I have to put in my PIN number. When I buy gas, if I put my card in the gas pump, I have to punch in my PIN number. So notice I said put in my PIN number or punch in my PIN number. We don't ever say personal identification number. You might be buying something in a store and the person might say, oh, you need to put in your PIN, which is your secret number that no one else knows that you can use to use your bank card. FAQ, frequently asked questions. This was more common in the older days on the internet. I think it's still common. Sometimes when you're on a website, there might be the home page, the about page, and a FAQ or FAQ. You can say it both ways, by the way. Oh, notice I pronounced that one. Yes, I did. FAQ, FAQ. And that will just be like a list of questions with answers for all of the questions that people commonly ask. ABS. I like ABS. Both of my vans have ABS, and this stands for Anti-Lock Braking System. In Canada, in the winter, it snows. There is sometimes snow and ice on the road, and when you hit the brakes, you slide. Instead of stopping, you keep going. But if you have anti-lock brakes, which I think everyone has at this point in time, my van will make like a funny noise because the brakes are being like applied and released very quickly every time, like per second, like 60 times a second. Don't quote me on this. If there's an engineer watching, correct me. But it actually lets you slow down quicker. You stop sooner. Instead of sliding, your vehicle will use anti-lock brakes in order to stop before you hit somebody or go in the ditch. One of those two things. SUV. I used to have an SUV. An SUV is a sport utility vehicle. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I owned a Nissan Pathfinder when I was a bit younger. We used to have one van, and the other vehicle we had was a Nissan Pathfinder. I actually owned two. I think I had a 2001 Nissan Pathfinder for a while, and then I had a 2003 Nissan Pathfinder. I bought them from my sister. My sister likes to buy sport utility vehicles because she likes to have four-wheel drive in the winter. My sister is a nurse, but she's the kind of nurse that visits people in their homes. And she likes to have a vehicle with ABS, and she likes to have an SUV with four-wheel drive so that she can get in and out of people's places when it's cold and snowy outside. So those were nice, by the way. If you are from Japan and if you have ever worked at Nissan, thank you. I liked both of my Nissan Pathfinders. They were great vehicles, very, very well built. Eastern Standard Time. So this is one where we don't actually say EST. Oh, we do, I guess. It's more you would see it in writing though. 6 o'clock EST. Yeah, I would say that, but I would probably then say Eastern Standard Time out loud. So I am in the Eastern Standard Time zone. You are in a different zone. In North America, we have Eastern Standard Time. We have Central Time, Standard Time. We have Pacific Time, Standard Time. So anyways, you will often see on my thumbnail that my English lesson starts at 8:30 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, which I think is 12:30 or 1:30 GMT right now. UFO. In French is OVNE, Object Volant Non Inconnu, probably. Yes. Anyways, this isn't a French lesson. A UFO is something that flies, and it's not flown by humans. You will probably never see one in real life. I don't think aliens exist, really, but some people do. But if you watch science fiction TV shows or movies, often there will be UFOs, unidentified flying objects. This is a flying saucer, we would call it. And it's something that you would only see if aliens came to visit us from another planet. That's the end of the formal part of the lesson. Let's see here. Freddie Wolf says the ABS allows you to keep the handle. Keep the handle de direction. Otherwise, you would go straight on. Yeah, it also helps you to steer and move. You are correct, because when you hit your brakes without ABS, you just go the direction you're going. There's no control anymore. Nastran says, "What is BMW?" I don't know. It's something Motorworks, I think. Bavarian Motorworks. Someone would need to look that one up. Lolly says, non identifié. Merci beaucoup. UFO is flown by aliens. Correct. Hi, Bob from China. Hey, let me check if there's any extra questions. There are. Let me finish those questions off. Let's see. Ismail says, hi, Bob. I'm still confused. Let's assume that Jen wants to choose the name Blue Orchid Bouquet for your booth. How do you choose an acronym for that? It would be Bob. The acronym would be Bob. And you can make acronyms. Like if you're selling something, you can make an acronym for it if you want, and it might catch on and people might start using it. Let's see. RM says, off topic, plausible versus feasible. Are these words interchangeable? Pretty much, yeah. If something's plausible or feasible, it's a positive way of saying it can most likely be done. From Jenna, Mr. Bob, Merry Christmas in advance. And my question is, what are some main areas to focus on for B2 level speakers of the English language? Number one, all of the areas. Make sure you're doing a healthy amount of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And at the B2 level, it's important to start reading authentic English material. So I'm like, at a certain point, so in your language learning, when you start, you're usually reading and listening to things that are created for people at your level. So if you are taking English A1 or A2 or even B1, you aren't reading actual English articles or listening to actual English things. You're listening to things made for English learners at those levels. At the B1, B2 level, you should be starting to switch over to like actual English material. So here's a good example. If you're a B2 level, you can still watch my videos. They will be helpful, but you should be watching native English speakers talking about cameras and vlogging and all of that stuff. Like you should be watching English TV shows for sure. Let's see here. Eva, I think cat is feline. I think so. Canine, feline, or is it only an adjective? Is there? Nope, that is correct. A cat is feline. There is no acronym for it. Thanks, Eva. So hi, Bob. This is Elena. I was wondering, how do you pronounce this acronym? Test of Chinese as a foreign language. I would probably say TOEFL, but I don't know if people say that. I'm not familiar. I know like people say TOEFL and TOEFL, but I'm not sure if you say that one out loud. I would have to ask the ELL teacher at my school. Kaka-chan, hi Bob. What is the meaning and full term of ops? Thanks a lot. Merry Christmas. I think you would probably see this or hear this on a military type TV show. Ops is usually short for operations. So it means they are doing something in another country. They are conducting operations. So that's what ops, I think, stands for. That's it, people. We're done. I can go to work. Hey, remember a few things. This lesson will come out in a shorter version in a couple days. You should watch it again or listen to it or at least do something for a second time, maybe a third time, to help you remember how these are said. Some people like to go back and rewatch the parts that they didn't quite understand. The version that comes out has subtitles in a couple days. They're not perfect. They're about 97, 98% accurate, but the subtitles can help as well. But yes, do look for that. I was going to say something else. I am continuing lessons as normal through the Christmas break. So if you are on break, I'm on break. I am not planning to take a break. I was sick in November. I took enough time off. I will be definitely putting out a video Tuesday. I will definitely be doing a live stream next Friday. And hopefully on January, whatever, the first Saturday in January, I hope to do a live stream as well. And then I do have to connect with Brent. I lost my phone. I don't have it. Oh, it's in the charger. Brent and I chatted earlier this week. We were just getting through our work week, and then we were going to connect about when we could do a live stream. So maybe look for something after Christmas or something like that. I'll connect with Brent. I know he goes back sooner than I do, though. Let's see. No, that says, thanks, Bob, for the lesson. Take it easy on your last day of work, if it is possible. Have a great day and Christmas weekend. You too. By the way, Merry Christmas to all of you. I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but I do hope you have a really nice time of year right now. Hopefully you can spend some time with family and friends if you get time off. And if you don't, hopefully you can still have an enjoyable season in front of you. Let me just say bye to people. Bye to Know That, Pedro, Mimi, Lolly Lolly. Unsel is here. Hi, Unsel. Unsel, I attended only half the live stream, but as always, I enjoyed it very much. Thanks a lot. Merry Christmas to you as well, Unsel. Key Park, bye to Key Park, Ralph, Eva, Lolly Lolly, Know That, Doris, yay. Well, hi, Bob, says Doris. It's pretty cold now. Please keep yourself warm. Have a nice day. It's strangely warm here. Like it was -4 last night, but I'll read you the temperatures for this week coming up. Let me pull that up for a sec. Okay, so a high of 3 Celsius today, tomorrow 5, Sunday 7, Monday 8, Tuesday 7, Wednesday 6, Thursday 2. It will not be a nice white snowy Christmas here. Not going to happen. So that's too bad. I wish it was. Bye to Doris, Nastran, Kang, Redfish, Key Park, Fatima, Astrid, Lolly Lolly, Anwar, Ikumi, Kangla, Know That. I said bye to Lolly and Know That a bunch of times because they're chatting. Bye to Clive. Hi, Clive. Good to see you. Danny, Fadi. Let me see here. I think that's everybody. I'm gonna go now, people. Have a great day. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day at work or at school, or if you're already home, have a cup of tea. Sit down, relax a bit, learn some English. Bye. I drank all my water this time. It's abnormal. I must have been extra thirsty.